Welcome to Up Level, Real Health, Real Talk with Dr. Jenna Blasi. I'm Dr. Jenna. I spent years crafting ways to help women thrive, and I want to help you do the same. On this podcast, we dive deep into health at every level, focusing on the mind, the body, and the spirit. This is where real conversations meet transformational wellness. We'll be talking about all the things that truly matter, from nutrition and fitness to lifestyle, mindset, and personal development. Plus, the real deal on managing stress and navigating menopause. So if you're ready to elevate your health journey with authentic, transformative insights, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello. Welcome back to Up Level. I'm Dr. Jenna, and today we're going to talk about self-love. Welcome to February. It's Heart Month, but I'm not going to talk about self-care. There's plenty of information out there on self-care. I'm going to talk about actual self-love from a physiological standpoint. It's not fluffy, all right? It's actually about trusting yourself and respecting yourself enough to show up. Okay, so looking at how self-trust and self-respect show up in your body. So I really want to reframe this pretty quickly because you might be thinking, oh, this is about affirmations. Oh, this is about luxury and indulging myself. I'm a huge fan of affirmations. Those of you who know me know that. And I do think that they're a part of changing the way we talk to ourselves and the way we love ourselves. But this is really about how you respond to your body. So to go a little further with that, how you respond to your body, especially when it's trying to get your attention. We talked a lot in January about identity-based consistency and why people fall off, right? Because a lot of times discomfort gets misinterpreted as failure, right? People don't abandon consistency because they don't care, but it's because they interpret their discomfort as failure. And it's like, oh, this isn't working. I'm uncomfortable. Or they override, they push, they shame, they ignore signals. Is this you? Does any one of these pieces sound like you? So I would say most people don't quit because they lack discipline. They quit because they stop trusting themselves. It's an identity piece. All right. We think consistency means overriding ourselves, right? Disciplining ourselves till we just can't do it anymore. Crack the whip. But long-term consistency actually requires listening and building that identity, I would say as well. So let's talk about self-love as a physiological skill. The body communicates through symptoms. This is information. I often talk about that check engine light. If you took your car to the mechanic because the check engine light is on and all they did was turn the light off but didn't look under the hood, we haven't addressed the problem. We haven't addressed the root. It's not the check engine light that's the issue. It's the engine itself, right? And so fatigue, cravings, sleep disruption, irritability, brain fog, et cetera, is your body communicating with you. These are your check engine lights. These are your signals. So overriding these signals is a learned behavior. It's not strength. Pushing through, we're so proud, I can push through, until we can't, right? The car can sputter along until it just can't anymore. There's no gas left in the tank or the engine has completely fried. And so learning to listen to these symptoms. Now, I have a whole episode on intuition versus fear. And I would say that the body's communicating with us through these signals and overriding them as a learned behavior. And I want to add that overriding your intuition is a learned behavior too. We all have the potential to be intuitive. We all have those moments, and I'll give like a silly, insignificant or somewhat insignificant example of like you're leaving your house and you're thinking, gosh, I feel like I should grab my umbrella for some reason. But the forecast maybe didn't show rain, and then it rains, right? We all have those examples of times when our intuition has tried to speak to us and we just override it with our rational thought, our logical minds. And we really, I think in this culture, put our mental, intellectual capacities at the top tier. And to me, that's overriding spirit. That's overriding God, spirit, universe, those messages from a higher place than the intellect. Bob Proctor, he used to say, rationalizing is rationing lies to yourself. Where are you rationing lies to yourself? Where are you rationalizing your way out of staying committed to something, or rationalizing your way out of getting uncomfortable and going after that opportunity? So back to self-love. What we call self-love is often just nervous system safety. And the reason I'm tying in intuition a little bit here is, so we've got the physical symptoms, fatigue, even hot flashes, brain fog, etc., as the body's signals communicating to you. And when we don't listen, our nervous system isn't actually safe. And this is true of the intuition as well. On a deeper level, the body knows the intuition is that higher guidance. So every time we override it, we're overriding ourselves. So looking at nervous system safety as a self-love tool or as a physiological skill is really crucial, I would say. Like, hopefully it shifts your perspective, because so many of us are abandoning ourselves. I see posts every day by people who finally maybe stop doing that. And they're like, oh my gosh, I've been living in, this terrible job or this terrible relationship, or just out of alignment with my true self, with how I should be caring for myself. And so I really want to bring awareness to this, but without shame. You have enough shame? Get rid of the shame. I'm not here to blame you or shame you. Learning to ask ourselves deep questions, learning to ask ourselves better questions without judgment is the key to transformation. It is the key to getting different results. Because if we look at our results, they absolutely reflect what's going on in our minds, what's going on in our belief system, what's going on with our expectations. We get what we expect. We get not what we want, but who we really are, what our deeper selves is communicating. To be able to look at our results, which absolutely reflect what's going on within us, and just use it as data, just like somebody else telling you their results, you're not going to get emotionally involved in them. You're going to look at them and then help analyze how do we need to upgrade? What needs to be done different here? So let's create awareness around where we're at without shame, without blame. All right. So look at all the high-functioning women who are ignoring their symptoms. Is this you? High-functioning women who are quote-unquote fine until they're not. And this is what I see happen in menopause a lot, where we can go and we can push, and I'm super mom, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and then boom, menopause hits, and we can't maintain that. We can't keep up with that. Caretaking roles. Productivity identity, right? I'm no one if I'm not producing, or, whatever pressure we're putting on ourselves. Pushing through is a health risk. And the sooner we understand and acknowledge this, the quicker we can pivot and look at self-love and self-care as critical for our health, for our longevity, and for being there to take care of the people we love and to succeed at the jobs that we're pushing so hard at. All of the things that you want, whether it's showing up for your family, being an amazing partner or spouse, being amazing at the job that you do, giving back to your community, doing your volunteer work, enjoying your retirement, etc., caretaking the people you're caretaking, etc., etc., all of the things that you want to be able to do. If you collapse, you can't do. And especially in midlife, there's actual hormonal shifts going on that are affecting your stress resilience. They're affecting your health, your cardiovascular risk, your insulin sensitivity, etc. Stress load is real. Caretaking roles are common. There's a real load, especially in midlife. A lot of caretaking starts to occur in midlife. And then compound this with hormone shifts, the stress of maybe being in the sandwich generation of still having kids and caring for parents, all of those pieces. So I want to remind you, this isn't about failing your health. It's about abandoning yourself in the name of productivity or even in the name of giving, caretaking. I just have to be there for everybody else and put myself aside. Remember, put your own oxygen mask on first. All right. So let's get out of the judge game, the shame and blame game, the negative expectations, right? Whether it's other people's expectations that we're people pleasing, and so we're feeling like we have to meet everybody's needs, but getting those positive expectations. Because sometimes when everything's going right, I was just talking about this in with my coaching community groups, a lot of people feel like they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Oh, something's going to happen now. And so getting rid of that expectation as well. It's okay. You can keep growing and creating the life you want. Absolutely. So let's get practical with this. What does self-respect actually look like? And you can pick a few of these. You can pick one of these. It can look like eating enough. All right. So there's two ends, or like on the continuum. On one side of it, you have under eating. So many women are chronically under eating. They're under fueled, especially if they're working out. They might have low energy availability. They're kind of running on empty. And then there's the emotional eating on the other side of that, where we're overeating with mindless snacking and emotional eating. And I have a different episode on that. So self-respect can look like eating enough, but also eating, when you're hungry. Resting without guilt. Do you allow yourself to slow down without judging yourself? What I find often is a lot of times women, especially, we've got 2 feet in, right? We're on vacation, but we're still trying to work. We're trying to work, but we're trying to relax at the same time. I want to be with my family, but I feel like I should be doing something for work. I'm at work, but I feel like I should be with my family. This is very painful. We have to just commit, be all in. If you're working, be all in on that, but set boundaries so then you're with your family. When you're with your family, put your phone down. Don't try to work. Be all in with them. Okay? So I'm elaborating on each of these a little bit so you can see what lands for you. So I'm going to change eating enough to eating in balance, right? Resting without guilt. Adjusting your workouts. We've talked about this a lot, about how are you feeling, honoring what's going on when you need rest. So adjusting your workouts, investigating symptoms early. We're always fine until we're not. Almost always. How many people have these shocking events? I never saw that coming. I remember speaking with a woman once. She was in her early 50s. She ate fairly well, moved her body, and she had a heart attack. So don't wait until something serious happens. Investigate these symptoms early. Get the care and the plan that is required to kind of keep you balanced and healthy and longevity. Saying no sooner. Who was I? Somebody I was just talking to recently was like, I'm saying no more, but it's mostly out of physically unable to say yes, but realizes that on those good days, they're still in that habit, right? So say no sooner. Remember, no is a complete sentence. It's okay to say no. And in fact, you show up in integrity when you have self-love and you honor those boundaries. You're going to be able to give more. And you're also indirectly giving other people permission to do that as well. Saying, quote, something feels off sooner. So I want to give an example. We went to Hawaii this summer and we went on a boat tour, and I did not realize, maybe it's a midlife thing, that boats make me sick now. Anyway, so they were telling us, you start off 100%, you're all excited on the boat. And they said, but if you get seasick, which apparently is very common, I didn't even realize, and all the other people on the boat had taken some type of medication the night before or earlier to help with that. And I don't take medications for the most part. And I didn't realize I have an issue. Anyway, so they said, let us know when you get to 95%. Don't wait until you're, ready to throw up to tell us that you're not well, right? So say something feels off sooner. So they said, let us know when you're at 95%. So I'm going along and I'm rocking out with the music and having a great time. And then I don't know, suddenly I was like, ooh, I don't feel 100%. And I was like, okay, they told me, let them know when you're at 95%. So I let them know, and they had ginger chews and peppermint oil and various things. the guy ended up like spilling the peppermint oil like all over me. I'm like, okay, maybe I needed a little extra, but saying something feels off sooner. Now, I didn't throw up. I did remain feeling not so great for most of that boat ride, but I do believe, like I was eating the ginger and I was like, okay, I can manage this. I can manage it. And like the moment I finished the chew, it started to come back. So I was like, I need another chew. And I didn't realize like how much it was helping until I had actually stopped eating it. But anyway, that probably made the difference, honestly, between me being, throwing up maybe over the side, and being able to at least enjoy the boat ride. Not as much as the others did, unfortunately. And just like with your health, if you're not taking care of it as you go, you're acquiring debt on your health, right? I heard a colleague recently say, my friend and colleague, Craig Cohen, he said, there's a health debt. And I've said this before, like if there's a debt to pay, if you don't do the upkeep on your car, if you don't get the regular oil changes and do the maintenance, there will be a debt that even your insurance won't cover because you haven't taken care of your car. Are you taking care of your car? Are you taking care of your vehicle? And so this vehicle that we have, it goes with us everywhere. We can replace some parts, but we can't replace the whole thing. And so that health debt, we have to pay it up at some point. So the sooner, the better, or it will be more. Right? If my car completely breaks down, it will cost me more time, more money, and being out of a car for longer than if I do the upkeep and the maintenance and catch things sooner. All right? Self-love is not about doing less, but it is about doing what's appropriate and what's called for. Right? It doesn't mean you have to, maybe you need a week off work, but it doesn't have to mean that. But it means you're listening as you go. You're staying present with your body, your body's needs, your intuition as you go along. Okay? So I want to bring this back, loop it back and close to the identity piece that I spent a lot of time in January talking about. The kind of consistency, right? Because I talked about identity and consistency in January. And this is the time, February, when gym numbers drop dramatically, resolutions have fallen by the wayside, whatever few people are still holding on, it's typically gone by March, but let's make this year different. Let's make this year the year you say, enough is enough. I'm tired enough of whatever I'm sick and tired of tolerating or not experiencing, not feeling, that I'm going to change what needs to change about me and my old habits and my old way of doing things, right? Like being sick is not cheap. It's not. And going cheap is very expensive. Meaning like choosing the cheapest option for your car, for your health, ends up being expensive in the long run. Somebody said to me once that only rich people can afford to go cheap because they can afford to keep buying. Like, they get a cheap lawnmower, they buy another one, and then it breaks down and they buy another one. So don't shortchange yourself, all right? The kind of consistency that lasts is rooted in self-trust. And self-trust is built every time you respond to your body instead of overriding it. And the opposite is true, okay? Every time you're out of alignment and you don't listen and you override, you're stepping out of integrity with yourself. And one of my mentors once said, if we're not in integrity with ourselves, we're actually in integrity with no one. It starts with us. Right? Would you cancel on a friend as quickly as you would cancel on yourself? So let's be in full integrity. All right? Because this creates continuity across months and then across years. So when we're building self-trust, when we're building integrity and self-love with ourselves, just take it day by day. And then suddenly those wins are week by week. And then suddenly those wins are months by months. And then suddenly it's years and you're a new you. And you're not tolerating the old crap you used to tolerate. So what would you change? I've two questions for you. What would you change if you treated your body as an ally instead of an obstacle? And we had a post on this. If you don't follow us on Instagram, please do. It's at Uplevel Holistic Health / Dr. Jenna Blasi. If we had a post recently about like, if your body was somebody else's body for a year, how would you treat it differently? And I will often say to people, if you were talking to yourself, like listen to how you're talking to yourself in your head, look at the way you're doing self-love and self-care. What if that were your child? Would you do it the same? Would you talk that way? Would you use your I am statements so carelessly? I'm not blah, blah, blah. I won't even say it. I won't even say it because I'm very intentional with my I am statements. But all those negative I am statements, would you say that to your kid? Well, I'm going to help you learn math, but boy, you are crappy at math. You suck. You're not worthy of this. All right. So what would you change if you treated your body as an ally, or if it was your child's or a friend's, all right, instead of an obstacle? And you can just land with that question, or you can ask yourself, what signal, actually, I'm going to ask it to you. What signal have you been minimizing that deserves attention? You know what it is. What signal, what shift, what change, there's something there, and you know that you've been minimizing, pushing aside, that deserves attention. So that's it for today. Trying to keep it kind of focused. Self-love is not about being soft and mushy. It is protective. It is protective. And you will serve others and show up in this world as a completely different person when you lock this in, and you'll be able to serve at such a higher level. So thank you so much for joining me. Please share this. If you found this impactful, let us know in the comments, and we will see you next time. I will see you next time. Thanks again for joining, and happy February. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Up Level, Real Health, Real Talk. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step in your health journey, one that nourishes not just your body, but your mind and spirit as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you found value in today's episode, please leave a review. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep thriving. And remember, true wellness is a journey, and you are on the right path.